Hello, and welcome to the anniversary celebration of Dr. Ted Rothstein, celebrating 36 years at this location, which is 35 Remsen Street in the Brooklyn Heights area of Brooklyn, New York. We're celebrating 36 years for Dr. Rothstein being at this specific location. So as we go inside, we're going to see a lot of different faces. Former patients, newer patients, of course staff members, family, friends, and other doctors. My name is Brian. I'm the office manager for Dr. Ted Rothstein, and I thank you so much for tuning in to this very prestigious occasion.
I'm Dr. Ted Rothstein, orthodontist, Brooklyn Heights. I'm standing in front of my office, and I want to say hello and thank you to all those people who came and are coming to help me celebrate the 36th year of my being an orthodontist here at 35 Remsen Street. I have to tell you that being an orthodontist is the most wonderful profession in the world. The people I meet are wonderful. When I take off their braces, it's the most happy moment, not only for my patients, but for me as well. It never ceases to be a happy moment because it takes 2 years for me to straighten out somebody's teeth. And sometimes I have to see them 20, 25 times, and sometimes I have to do some of the most meticulous little adjustments that you have ever seen. But when I take those braces off, the love in my heart is just abundant.
How did you make the transition into dentistry, orthodontics?
That's a great question. Actually, in college, I started out wanting to be an engineer on the advice of my father. And then it turned out that physics and math, I just didn't know math. I just didn't understand it at all. And I switched over to the biological sciences. So that was the impetus. And then I owned a gas station, and I had a cousin. And one day my cousin said, "I'm having a hard time with engineering." I said, "I think I'm going to be a dentist." And without a moment's thought, 2 minutes later, I said, "That sounds terrific. You know, I'm having problems with engineering too. I think I'm going to be a dentist also." Of course, I did have a good role model. My own dentist was a man who I greatly admired. So unwittingly or unconsciously, that probably was the motivation for my making the immediate switch without much angst or any further thinking. That's how I came to be a dentist.
Did you expect to be in this location for the next 36 years?
Actually, I never gave thought to how long I would be here. I just came here. There were no orthodontists at that time in Brooklyn Heights, and I sought the advice of the dentists, the local dentists who were practicing here. They said, "Terrific, we need an orthodontist." And on their advice and their willingness to refer patients to me, that was the final deciding factor. And I've been here ever since, 36 years now.
And look who it is. It's Rabbi Raskin from your synagogue as we're speaking here.
Hey, how are you?
Coming to give us a blessing.
Come to do a benediction and talk about the meaning, the happiness of 36. As you can see, Rabbi, we have a balloon, 2 18s. We couldn't find a 36 balloon, so we got 2 18s, wow, and that's 36.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing, because the truth is 36 in Kabbalah is actually 18 and 18. 18 is life, and life represents life between man and between man and God. When you have both of those lives complete, you have 36.
The rabbi's synagogue is right down here on 117 Remsen Street, and I've gone there many times and enjoyed making the Sabbath with the rabbi and the congregation. So, Rabbi, I just want to say how wonderful it's been to know you and the help you've been to me in my lifetime.
And hopefully another 36 years together. Another 36 years.
I hope so.
The London branch of Bank Leumi did an audit on all the passwords. And they found a password that was very, very long, and they were concerned perhaps the person was connected with some terrorists. So they called him in. And in came Yankel Cohen, 89 years old. He said, "Mr. Cohen, you know you have the longest password in the whole bank." He He says, what do you mean? He says, well, your password is Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Joseph, Jerusalem. He says, what do you mean? I was only following orders. He says, what kind of orders? He says, the bank manager said I should choose a password that has 8 characters and 1 capital. And that's what I did. So I wanted to begin by saying that we all know Dr. Ted. He's a great character, and we love being around him. And we want to wish him another great 36 years. And 36 is a very special number because in Kabbalah, if you take the number 36, you have a 6 and a 3 together, and that equals 9. 9 is called the number of truth because anything times 9 equals 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 times 7 is 63. 6 plus 3 is 9. So anything times 9 equals 9. So 9 is a number of truth, and truth means eternality. We know our money we can't take with us, but we could take with us a good name. So we want to bless the doctor that he continues to have a great name and to do good deeds and to help people and inspire people and to make a bracha on the wine. And the reason why we choose wine is because the wine in Hebrew means hagafen. Hagafen is an acronym for Hatzlacha, success. Gimel is gesund, health. Pei is parnasa, which means livelihood. And Nun is nachas, joy from yourself and your children and your family. So Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
L'chaim to everybody.
Thank you.
L'chaim, l'chaim.
This is my wife. Her name is Frances, and without her, I'd be nothing. So, Frances, let me turn the the microphone over to you, and you can tell us about all your joy of being married to me.
July we were going to be married 24 years, and I said yes. It's been quite a journey, a pleasant journey, and I have experienced Ted in the office for the past nearly 24 years, and actually more because we knew each other for several years before we got married. And there have been many changes in here, the physical space as well as the staff. And Ted has worked diligently to keep the practice really at the top level, and he attends all sorts of educational seminars and programs, and I think he's about the best darn orthodontist in Brooklyn. So
well
there you
spoken,
go, and
Frances.
he did my teeth as well as practically everyone else.
And the staff, most of the people who you will see here, I've helped them to make their teeth straight and smiley. So I'm really very proud, and they're all here around today, and it makes me very, very, very happy to have them here. And
I was a patient at Dr. Ted's, and then I started working here, and they worked here before
we
me.
can just broadcast. I can do a
I was
special.
a patient
Meet
at
Roy Mackenzie, and he'll
13 or
tell you about
14
the
years
world
old,
of
and
this.
then I started
Appreciate
working here.
I was a patient when I was 12, and I started working here when I was 15, and I'm still here.
So 12, 13, 14.
We met through a friend when Ted had.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was recommended to me by a friend of ours whose teeth I straightened. Yeah, that's how we met. He was recommended. But Roy is an attorney.
Yes, and I recommend me for everybody.
I brought you into the treatment room because I wanted you to see one of my ideas that I developed many years ago that I find very useful to teach my patients about what their problems are. This happens to be a typical malocclusion or a typical jumble of teeth, crooked teeth. And I always tell the patients, well, your teeth are like today. And then 2 years from now, with these wires, your teeth are going to be like tomorrow. And that gives them a good idea of being able to picture what their teeth will be like. And it's very instructive, and I use it quite often because many teeth are exactly like you see in today, and always the result is always like tomorrow, by and large. So that's what I wanted to show you today. My certificate for being a life active member of the American Association of Orthodontists. That means I've attended meetings for the last 30 plus years. And I'm very proud of that. To be a life active member means you've studied long and hard, and you've done a lot of patients. And my wife and I, with our grandchildren, me, as a little baby, and there's a picture over there. Maybe at some point you'll take a look at that picture of my mother and father and me when I was a little baby. Here is myself and my son and his baby, my wife and I, when we visited Paris one year, some time ago. Oh, and me with the mayor. No, not the mayor, Marty Markowitz. Then, who I know a little bit, me in my younger days.
No, but I think you were right about Remsen.
And that's it. Well, thank you for tuning in on our wonderful party. I've had a wonderful time. Behind me, you see the terrific people who I work with and who work hard to make our patients' treatment time go as comfortably and as happily as possible. You have behind me here Brian and Jennifer. Jennifer, raise your hand. And John, raise your hand, John. And Tiana, who is the junior staff member, who's proving to be a wonderful chairside assistant. So this has been a very happy party for me, and it's really a culmination of 36 years, and I'm glad I decided to put it all together. And if you have some time and you want to come down and get a whole lot of food that's left over, by all means, please do that. Well, it's au revoir and bonne journée and buenos dias and goodbye and come again.
I was turning 12 years old when my parents broke the news. What a scare. They said we don't want to upset you and we know you might refuse, and that's fair. But your teeth are really crooked and you have an overbite. You've got a lovely smile and we want to make it right. We'll leave it up to you. We know that you are bright. Don't despair. So I called up all my friends.